Now by ENCA's Kholi Mgambi, who's at the court. He joins us now live. Kholi, just following these developments in court, tracking your tweets to just try and find out what's happening there. Of course, one of the important issues coming out there, ANC members aligned to Phosa deciding to withdraw the urgency of this court application. What does that mean?
Well, Michelle, we're still, as well as journalists here, trying to understand exactly what the Phosa team is really up to here, because just moments ago, as you rightly mentioned, the advocate representing Phosa stood up in court, and it was Dali Mpofu, the senior advocate that is known to South Africa. And he stands up and says that they've decided through negotiations with the other team on the other side that they are going to withdraw as applicants the urgency element of the court application. Plus, Michelle, he also then reveals to us on the sidelines, though, of the court that there does seem to be a political mediation going on behind the scenes, and that there was this meeting that took place yesterday at Luthuli House from about 2 o'clock until 5 o'clock between the two parties that basically brought each other to court here today. So, Michelle, that is basically the status quo at the moment of the Phosa application. But I'm not alone, Michelle. I am joined by the provincial secretary of the ANC in the Mpumalanga province, and that is Mr. Mandla Ndlovu. Mr. Ndlovu, thanks for joining us. What do you make of the Phosa side deciding to withdraw the urgency part of the application? It does appear that they still want to ventilate whatever issues they have in court, but they're saying for the time being they're withdrawing simply the urgency part of this court application.
Yeah, maybe what one can indicate is that in Mpumalanga, in one rock, beneath one rock, there is one politician that is lacking. And this politician doesn't want the conference to sit. And then we'll move around shopping for proxy. Comrade Phosa. He's moving around shopping for proxies to come here and make an application to stop the conference of the African National Congress. Shopping around reasons to interdict the conference of the African National Congress. He was not here, but his proxies were here. So it is not true that there was an agreement yesterday. There was no agreement yesterday. They offered with conditions. We said no, we were ready to defend the African National Congress. It was tough there. It was going to be tough there because they were not part of the nomination processes.
Are you saying that his case is actually so weak that he decided to withdraw at the last minute? Is that what you say?
The case is very weak. It's very weak. They are not going to win that case. We have got members, certain branches, chairpersons of branches, that they said that they are not part of these applications. That this application that they were making on their behalf, they said that one chairperson of 9A, Comrade Musa Mlim,
was on their side.
They claimed that he was on their side. He said to me that he was not part of the application. He was ready to come here and reject their application.
All right. Let's move on very swiftly, therefore, to the political mediation that seems to be happening at Luthuli House. What was that about? Who convened the two sides between yourself and, of course, Mr. Phosa?
When we received application, normally as an organization will complain, because our expectation is that members of the ANC must use intra-political processes. It is wrong for people to go to court. When we responded to their lawyers, we indicated to them that it should have been better for them to come to our offices. They know our offices, starting from the branch up until Luthuli House. So we indicated to them that they should have used internal ANC processes. So we offered them, as usual, that always the organization will be there to listen to its members.
And so what was the outcome, therefore, of that meeting? What was the agreement there? Because if there was an agreement there, then you wouldn't have come here in court. So clearly there was no agreement, was there?
There was no agreement. They wanted to withdraw with conditions. We said that we are not accepting their conditions. They said that they will withdraw provided the NEC establish a task team to deal with their complaints. They said that they will withdraw this case provided that they are not going to pay the cost. And we said no. When we came here, we're coming here to defend the African National Congress and we'll defend the ANC. The conference will proceed as planned by the NEC of the ANC.
Mr. Ndlovu, make me understand. People are very confused here, and you are one senior member of the ANC in that province of Mpumalanga. You are the administrative head. What is this unity, or who is candidate unity in Mpumalanga? Is it Mr. David Mabuza?
Unity is everybody. It's supposed to be everybody in South Africa. Supposed to be all branches of the ANC. It's supposed to be all members of the African National Congress, not only the chairperson.
Can I tell you something interesting though?
Yeah.
In the morning when we came, we found members of the ANC wearing t-shirts that are written "Hands Off DD." That's David Mabuza. That is how your chairperson is nicknamed. Shouldn't those t-shirts have been written unity, yes, as opposed to DD? Aren't you furthering this personality cult in the ANC?
I'm not saying that Comrade DD is not unity. I'm saying that
he is
every member of the ANC is supposed to be unity, including Comrade DD. We're happy to have Comrade DD in the province that is talking about unity. And as PEC, we'll continue to support Comrade Mabuza and make sure that we unite the African National Congress as we march towards the 54th National Conference. And when we walk out of the conference, we are expecting all our members to talk about unity in the organization.
All right. As a parting shot, very, very disturbing videos have emerged from Mpumalanga, in particular members of the Umkhonto weSizwe Military Veterans Association, them firing guns in the air. One ANC NEC member, Lindy Wezulu, talking to us this weekend, said that that particular behavior is not acceptable. What are you, as Mpumalanga, saying? You were not at that media briefing that addressed this particular issue. Now that you're here, this is an opportunity for you to tell us exactly where you stand with members firing guns willy-nilly in Mpumalanga, in the middle of drinking alcohol, by the way, in a province that has been riddled with political killings.
It will be very difficult for me to comment about an incident that I was not part of it. But what I don't understand, I indicated that there is a person that does not want the conference. He's moving around shopping reasons to interdict the conference. That's why
you're diverting, in fairness, sir.
That's
you're
why he's
diverting
coming
from my
with
question.
that video.
You're not answering the
I'm answering. He's coming with that video. Just because he wants to indicate that in Mpumalanga, we had people that they were moving around intimidating people. That was the intention. So I'm saying that it was wrong for them to fire randomly. It was wrong for them, but I was not part of that event.
All right, we'll have to leave it there for the time being. Thank you very much for your time. Thanks indeed. That was the Mpumalanga Secretary of the ANC, Mr. Ndlovu, talking to us there, Michelle. And I think, as you heard yourself, they are very clear that Matthews Phosa's case is extremely weak, and that is why he has decided that he's going to engage in a political mediation process of sorts that's taking place at Luthuli House. But at the same time, Matthews Phosa does seem to have put forward certain conditions to the negotiation that was happening at Luthuli House, but the other side simply would not agree to it. Well, Michelle, for the time being, hopefully, Mr. Matthews Phosa and his side, of course, that represents him, will find time to talk to us as the media, as they have been doing, Michelle, to find out what exactly is going on regarding this particular court case that they've launched.
Yeah, absolutely, Colin. Incredibly important to hear from Matthews Phosa and his team as well. But before we let you go, Colin, 4 days to go until the elective conference. What does this mean for the Mpumalanga province in the run-up to this incredibly important few days for the ANC?
Well, Michelle, I can tell you that the Mpumalanga province appears to be extremely confident right now about its processes, and I think that is why, if you listened carefully to the words of the provincial secretary here, they're saying that all that Matthews Phosa was actually trying to do was to try and not just find people who will agree with his story, but also to try to collapse the conference of the ANC that is going to take place in 4 days' time. Is this the real intention of Mr. Matthews Phosa? That question has got to be answered by him, Michelle. But as far as Mpumalanga is concerned right now, it is going to go to that conference, and it is going to go and become, they're going to go there and become full participants in that province. I suspect, Michelle, that Matthews Phosa is going to have a lot to answer to, because he's made some serious allegations. He now has to stand up again, as is done before, regarding the accusations that he's made earlier in the previous week, that Mpumalanga has some people that are going around intimidating and harassing the branch general meetings of the ANC in that province. Is that still the real story, Michelle, or was there something much more sinister that he was up to? He's the only one that can tell us at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely, and you'll no doubt get him on air. You'll get him with that microphone of yours, and you'll get him to answer all of those all-important questions. That was ENTA's Phulim Gambi monitoring that story for us at the court in Johannesburg.